You all know as well as I do that words like iconic just get thrown around a lot anymore. It seems like everything's iconic. I don't think there is a more iconic photo in American history than the one that was snapped in 1945. One of the young men in that photo at the flag raising of Iwo Jima is actually from Kentucky. We are going to make our way to Elizaville, Kentucky, which is not too far, maybe an hour, hour and a half from where I live, to visit the final resting place and pay our respects to Franklin Sousley.
Franklin Runyon Sousley grew up in the hills of Fleming County, Kentucky, a small town kind of life where everyone knew your name and most people stayed close to home. He was born in Hilltop in 1925. His father died when he was young, and that left Franklin, his mother Goldie, and a younger brother to figure out life the hard way. Folks said Franklin had an easy grin, always joking, always the one to lighten the mood when things got rough. He graduated from Fleming County High School in 1943. The world was at war, and the draft was pulling men in every corner of America. Franklin didn't wait to be called. He joined the Marines at 18. For a boy from Kentucky, that was like signing up for another planet. From the quiet roads of home to the sands of the Pacific, he was about to see a side of the world that most couldn't imagine. After training at Camp Pendleton in California, Franklin was assigned to the 5th Marine Division. He landed on Iwo Jima on February 19, 1945. The island was small, but it was a fortress. Japanese forces had spent months digging tunnels and bunkers into the volcanic rock. For days, the Marines fought inch by inch, paying for every piece of ground with their lives. 4 days into the battle, the Marines reached Mount Suribachi, that black volcanic mountain that dominated the island. They raised a small flag first, but it wasn't visible to everyone below, so a larger flag was sent up the hill. The second flag went up around noon, and standing among the 6 men who pushed that pole into the ground was Franklin Sousley. Photographer Joe Rosenthal caught that moment. It happened in an instant, 6 men working together, the flag leaning into the wind. That single image captured what words couldn't. It symbolized the cost of war, the strength of teamwork, and the hope of victory. But what about Franklin Sousley? Franklin never saw the photograph. He never knew that his image would travel around the world, be printed in every newspaper, and come to define an entire generation of service. After the flag went up, the fighting continued. The Japanese weren't done yet. On March 21st, just a few weeks after that photo was taken, Franklin was moving through an area near Katano Point when a sniper's bullet found him. He was 19 years old. When the news of his death reached Kentucky, of course it broke his mother's heart. She had sent her son to fight for freedom, and now she had only a telegram to hold. Like so many families during that time, she didn't even have a body to bury right away. His remains stayed on the island for years before finally coming home in 1948. When the train carrying his casket arrived in Flemingsburg, the whole town stopped. Flags lined the streets. People stood in silence. Farmers paused their work in the fields to watch him pass by. Franklin Sousley was finally home. He was buried here in Elizaville Cemetery under then was a simple stone that tells the story bigger than any monument could. It reads that he was one of the flag raisers on Iwo Jima, 6 words that tie a Kentucky farm boy to one of the most defining images in American history. What's powerful about Franklin's story is how ordinary it was. He wasn't famous. He wasn't trying to be a hero. He was just doing his job, standing beside his brothers and doing what needed to be done. And yet, that one frozen second, that photograph became a symbol that outlived them all. After the war, the image was used to sell war bonds and lift morale back home. The men who survived became instant celebrities flown across the country for parades and interviews, but Franklin's face was only recognized later. His mother was proud, but she always said she'd trade all the fame in the world just to have her son back. In 1954, the Marine Corps War Memorial was dedicated in Arlington, Virginia. It's a massive bronze sculpture of that same moment. 6 Marines raising the flag atop Mount Suribachi. Franklin's likeness stands there among them, larger than life. Overlooking the capital of the country he died defending. Millions of visitors walk past that monument every year, and most of them probably don't realize that one of those men came from right here in Kentucky. Here at this cemetery and at his grave, it's hard not to feel that connection between the quiet of this small cemetery and the roar of that battle halfway around the world. The place is calm now, peaceful, but the story carved in this headstone is anything but. It's a reminder that freedom has always been paid for by people who are willing to step up into the fight, even when they didn't have to. And when you see the photo, it's hard not to think about Franklin's mom waiting back home of the empty chair at their table. And how many families have a similar story, just without the famous picture to remind the world? Now, personally for me, just standing here with the camera rolling, this is what my channel is all about, remembering the names behind the history, keeping their stories alive, because even though time passes and generations come and go, these stories still matter. Franklin Runyon Sousley wasn't a general or a politician. He was a kid from the hills of Kentucky who went to where he was needed. He helped raise a flag that told the world that America would not quit, and he gave his life for that message. So here at his grave in the very small community of Elizaville, Kentucky, we remember him not just as one of the men in the photograph, but as one of our own, a son, a Marine, a Kentuckian, a 19-year-old who helped raise the flag of a nation, and in doing so, became part of history itself. When I visit these graves, whether it be Franklin Sousley's or anyone else, I think about how many stories like his have been lost to time. A young man who grew up on a farm, left home, never came back. His whole life led him to one moment that the world remembers, but most people don't even know his name. It's quiet out here, just a Kentucky hillside, some flags, a marker with a history carved in stone. But standing here, visiting his grave, it makes it real. He wasn't a face, only a face in a famous photograph. He was a son, a neighbor, one of our own. History isn't just something that happens far away. It's right here in our backyards and places like this. Franklin Runyon Sousley gave everything he had for this country, and this is where the journey ended, from Hilltop, Kentucky to Iwo Jima, finally back home. Once again, here at Elizaville Cemetery, at the grave of Franklin Runyon Sousley. I will see you again soon.